Live tonight with episode number 18. We have Mr. Joshua Battles in the studio for ARCS Behind the Driver. We'll have him live here in just a moment. Stick around. Episode 18 starting soon.
Welcome to ARCS Behind the Driver podcast.
Here with Mr. Joshua Battles. Good to have you here for episode number 18. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be participating in stuff like this.
Yeah, it's always fun. I've been racing with you for a long time. Even with you kind of came from OG, or what was it called before OG? I can't even remember.
When I joined up with them, I think it was OG. I can't remember what it was before.
I can't either. I should have asked Rupert when I had him on, but I didn't. I didn't. But yeah, I mean, I've been running with you for a long time, but I'll kind of throw it over to you because obviously, a lot of people know me, and some people may know you, but I'll kind of give you the floor. Kind of just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your life, where you live, a little bit about you, and just who you are as a person.
Well, I'm from a small town right outside of Gadsden, Alabama, which luckily for me is about 45 minutes north of Talladega Superspeedway, about an hour north of Barber Motorsports Park. So then you got Talladega Short Track and some more dirt tracks scattered around the area within an hour and a half driving distance. There's my dog going to come check us out. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a mess. But yeah, it's a little town right outside of Gadsden, and I'm a mechanic by trade. Technical long form answers. I'm a Hyundai master certified technician. So, I got wife, 2 kids, retired dirt racer. I drove dirt cars for 22 seasons. Done pretty good. Almost 100 feature wins, 2 track championships, some big race wins scattered in there at certain tracks, and just I've eat, breathe, sleep, and bled racing for a long time. Been on iRacing since 2009, on and off. 2009 or 10, I can't remember exactly when, but I've been on there a long time. Just might race for a month or two, and then take a month or two off, and just back and forth.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't realize you had been on iRacing that long. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been around since it was very, very young.
Yeah, because iRacing was like 2008 maybe when they kind of started iRacing, I think.
Yeah, it was somewhere right in there. And like I remember, I think the only oval cars other than the NASCAR stuff they had at the time was the SK mods, the Legends, and the Street Stock, and that was it.
Yeah, it's crazy how far they've come, in 14 years. I mean, now there's every race car you could almost imagine is on iRacing, and they're still adding more. Seems like every season update that they have, it's pretty cool to be a part of and have all these cars that you can race just whenever you want to.
Oh, for sure. And the big thing about it is, as far as me is, it's hard to get used to iRacing or sim racing in general, coming from a real racing background, because you're doing everything with your hands and your eyes. I got Dale tickled in our team chat the other day because I said I don't have my ass sensors in the sim like I do in the car. I could feel what my car was about to do before it done it, and you kind of had that feel of if it was hooked or not hooked, and just kind of give you a lot of feedback through your butt in the seat that you don't get with the sim. So I feel like that maybe sometimes that hurts me, is I'm looking for that feel, and I just can't get the same feel through my hands and eyes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know my cousin and my uncle, Cody and Tracy, which a lot of people know them. They ran dirt cars as well. My uncle is one of the best dirt track racers that, was around in Georgia where we were at. He ran Winder Barrow Speedway almost every Saturday night, and, he'd win almost every race he started. So he just was good. And he kind of, both of them kind of, now Cody's very good on iRacing. Tracy didn't quite catch on, and I think he probably struggled with the same thing that you did, where he couldn't feel what that car was about to do, and that hurt him. And I feel like a lot of, especially, this may be a little, I don't know, I may hurt some feelings, but I feel like older people, younger people, kids, they're just damn good at these games. They're good at these simulations. They're good at racing. You know, they were good in when we ran Heat 5 and Heat 4. You know, it transfers over to iRacing. But some of the older ish people in ARCS, you know, that have some experience racing, like Tracy and yourself. You know, I'm not saying you're old. I'm not saying that, but you know, when you're used to, and I've driven a dirt car on track during hot laps. You know, I never actually ran it, but it is just so crazy how you can feel what that car is doing. And with iRacing, it's like you kind of have to guess almost. Like it's just wild. I don't know how to explain it, you know, to someone that has never been in a real race car. It's just like you said, it's hard to explain other than just you can't feel what the car's doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can, you know, when you're in the real car, you can feel if the car's yawed out one way or the other, or you know, you get a rut in the track, or you know, in the case of a dirt car, you can catch the cushion or catch a rut and have it bite the right rear and get the car set in the corner and turn around that way. You just don't get that in this, you know, that kind of feel. I've even thought about, I don't know if anybody's had any success with the butt kicker seat base things, but you know, I even thought about that to see if it would help me get a little more feel.
I would love to try that. I would.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of guys younger than me on this that do a whole lot better than I do, and said I'm really fast in the real car, but on this I'm kind of mediocre at best sometimes.
Same. I finished top 20, and we'll talk a little bit about A squared later in the podcast because you know, I know me and you, we had a hell of a battle for our bracket challenge, so we'll talk about that a little bit. That was fun.
It was a ball, and I never saw me making it past round one, and then Hagen had some bad luck, and then there I was, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, me either. I mean, round one, I was like, oh Lord, I don't know, we'll see. And I made my predictions, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna put me in the final four, and damn if I didn't make it to the final four. So I mean, it worked out for me. But
oh hell yeah.
But before we talk about that, we'll talk a little bit about I always like to ask everybody, you know, kind of how they found ARCS and how they joined ARCS. You know, a lot of people that I have on this podcast, obviously, you know, some people know, you know, how they made it in, but me personally, I have no idea how you found ARCS. So that's something that I love to see, you know, how people found us and, you know, how they got in. So just kind of tell us a little bit about your story of how you found ARCS and how you got in here and started racing with us.
All right. So my road to ARCS was kind of long. I had a pretty serious traffic accident on my way home from work in 2020 and got hurt and was had been away from iRacing for a while and was using that to kind of get back. And actually, honestly, I was trying to get my I had two brain bleeds and some head injury stuff go on, and I was trying to use the simulator to help me get back in the real car. Trying to get the dizziness and the motion sickness part of that, and so I'd sit down and I would just make laps, even by myself, just make laps and try to get my head back right. And then I had a car salesman that had worked at my Hyundai dealership I work at, and he was at our Toyota store next door at that time. And he's like, hey, he said, I've been on Heat 5 and I've got into iRacing and I've got some guys together. Do you want to come run with us? A Cup Car League. And 87s just had come out, so I think it was the 87s league. So I said, yeah, what the hell? I'll run some league stuff, and got in with this guy. And I said, no, you know, I've known him for a couple of years, you know, from working together. And so I run his league, and then he does a Cup Series league with the Gen 6 cars, and James Kerr and a few guys that's been in OG and ARCS both, Pete Woodrum, Derek Cook. Several of those guys were in that at the same time I was. It was Loose Lugs. Or started out as Showtime and then turned into Loose Lugs. It was a long story of he tried to make everyone happy and change a bunch of stuff in the middle of the season, and the other admins didn't like it, and it was just a whole big shit show. I stayed racing with those guys just because, hell, I enjoyed it. It was challenging. They were fast. I wouldn't, it was. I wanted to learn from the best. I wanted to run with the fast guys and see what I could do, and just made friendships, like I said, with a bunch of guys through that, and got into OG. And then there was an event some of the OG guys were talking about was ARCS. It was like a charity event, and that's kind of how I got introduced to you guys. I signed up and ran the charity event, and then come run some more stuff, and then got to looking for another league to get in to do some more serious, getting back to being more serious about this, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the ARCS versus OG charity event that we did.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, which it didn't. I mean, it went pretty good, but I know that. Look, I've run several events in my career of being owner and president of ARCS, where we had some league versus league type battles. They don't always work out very well. You get that team. It's almost like a football game. You get one team versus another team, and some people are going to start brawling out there. It's like it's like a rivalry game. It's like Alabama and Auburn, or Georgia and Georgia Tech. Yep. You get those 10. I think we did 10. If I remember right, I think it was 10 ARCS drivers and 10 OG drivers. And I'm telling y'all, it's wild, because all 10 ARCS drivers are obviously working together. All 10 OG drivers are working together. And
if you cross one of them, you cross the whole side.
Exactly. Yeah, if one car makes a move, then the whole team goes, hey, that 12 car, he's done. Yeah, he's done. Yeah. Don't let him pass you, because he ain't worth a damn. So yeah, but that was, but it helped. And OGs, they're still running some stuff here and there. I know, I talked to last week, actually, Rupert was on the podcast, and it was a great episode, and we talked a little bit about him kind of stepping back from OG, because he was working a lot, was on second shift, I think, driving trucks and all that. Yep. So he couldn't really do anything anymore. So I know Thomas Melnick Holland kind of took over there for OG, and I know they still run some stuff here and there, but they really kind of cut back a lot, because they were running, when ARCS was kind of first getting into iRacing, and Dustin was still pretty heavily involved over there in OG, they were running 4 or 5 nights a week at the time. They had a lot going on. So
yeah, and I remember one of the fun series I ran over at OG is actually, I think Painter might have helped put it together, but they were doing Southern National, and they done like Miatas and then modifieds and late models all in one shot, like a Saturday night.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun. It was like 3 races back to back. They were kind of
back to back.
Yeah, they were shorter races, but it was different cars every time, and that was a blast. Like I would love to do that again, because it was like you'd go from Mazdas, where you could just be wide open, to
on the rev limiter.
Yeah. To then I think maybe they did SK mods after that, and then finished it off with super late models.
Super lates, yeah.
That was so much fun.
I'm a weapon in super late models. I am
too. Well, you talked a little bit about competition, getting a little more serious. So we'll kind of segue that into A Squared, obviously. Look, man, I've been doing this for, like I said, I started pretty much 2020 when the pandemic kind of, really started. And 95% of us couldn't go to work, or you had to work from home. I was privileged. I was able to work from home. I didn't get furloughed or laid off, but still at 5 p.m. when that last meeting or that last email was sent, instead of a 20-30 minute commute back home, you walked into, I walked into my living room and fired up the Xbox, and that was what I didn't have any commute home, A lot of us didn't. It was a wild time, honestly.
Yeah, I was still at the shop every day in that, and part of the time I was a service advisor, because of all the whole wreck deal and not being able to physically work. But so I've done just a service advisor job for a while, and was, it was we had all kind of company policies about all the distancing and all that.
6 feet,
yeah. And then it's like, oh god, I just need to get away from this for a while and do something else. So and couldn't get back into the full-size car because there was no races to go to.
Yeah.
And then when there was races to go to, I wasn't healthy enough yet. And I'd actually tried to go back a little earlier than I probably should have. The doctor cleared it, but I physically wasn't ready.
Yeah. And
so, iRacing and that was my get back in a race car and have some release.
Man, I'll never forget when NASCAR did the iRacing stuff. That was so cool. I still think.
Oh yeah.
I still think in the off season they should do like 2 races, just to let all the NASCAR drivers come out and just have fun on iRacing. That was so much fun.
It was, and it was like, my guys at work, they're like, "Oh man, have you seen what they're doing for NASCAR right now?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do that."
Yeah, I do that every week. Like, it was so cool because like you had people like Timmy Hill, who was literally running a Logitech G923, which we'll get into what you use, your hardware and stuff. That's a pretty popular question, so we'll get to that here in a little bit. But you had Timmy Hill using a Logitech that was literally clamped onto a computer desk, and he was out there just waxing these. Denny Hamlin had a $10,000 setup, and Timmy Hill's just out there. Yeah, I got this $300 wheel. I got this $100 computer desk and one monitor. And I'm just flying out here. It just shows that equipment, yes, it will help you, but talent goes a long way. It really does.
It does, yeah.
But getting back to A squared, which I do this a lot. I get on a tangent and then I go out into left field. But A squared, again, like I said, I've been doing we ran 2 seasons on Xbox for A squared, then we made the transition to iRacing. We've run 3 seasons on iRacing. This is our 4th this year. I'm telling you, man, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. This is the most competitive field I have ever been a part of.
Yes, it is tough.
It is.
When I ran with the loose lugs guys, if I just kind of bided my time for part of the race and just made sure I had a car at the end of the race, I could pick up some decent finishes. Mm-hmm. And this is so tough. You've got to be fast in A squared. There's you actually have to have a little skill and a little speed to get toward the front, and it's not just a walk in the park.
It's not. I think I finished in the top 10 maybe 3 or 4 times this season.
Yeah, that's about all I got. It's 2 or 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, and it's like I said. If I cross that finish line in 17th, I'm like hell of a day for the 12.
Oh yeah,
for the 12 crew.
If I can finish on the lead lap in the top 20, hey, I've had a good day.
Absolutely, it is wild. Going back to Xbox days, we had good fields. It was competitive. It was fun. But Xbox, we started, obviously, ARCS started on Heat 4. We went to Heat 5. Console versus iRacing is just a different ball game.
Yeah, I cannot go back to a console racer after doing iRacing this long.
I wouldn't be able to either. It's wild how different it is, but that's all we knew at the time because a lot of us didn't have iRacing. Dustin Painter was the one that really kind of led the transition. He was trying to get us all to go to iRacing. He was like, hey, if y'all like Heat 5, y'all come over here and run iRacing. Y'all will really love it. And I remember Dustin was hounding me like, come on, man, just try it. Just get you a PC, try it. So I bought a PC from my cousin, Daniel Roberts, who used to race with us a long time ago. I bought he got a new PC, so I got his old PC for $200, which is, it's actually still sitting over here. Kenzie, which is, as most people know, is my girlfriend. She raced with us on Heat 5 a little bit, and she's going to try and get back into iRacing, but she has that computer. I bought it for $200, which was a steal during the pandemic. I mean, you try and buy a PC during the pandemic, and it would be $2-3 grand, and it was only worth $1,500. I mean, it was wild.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I finally made that purchase. I got iRacing. I downloaded everything, and it almost was like when I did it, everybody else in ARCS was like, "Oh shit! Well, Ryan did it, so I'm gonna do it too." And then we started up, and man, we hadn't looked back since. It's kind of crazy, but.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's as close. It's as close to the real thing as most of us are ever going to get. And well, I've been in the real thing in a small aspect. Like I drove mini stocks and hobby cars, but a lot of people as close as they're going to get strapping in a real car.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's crazy how, and again, obviously, I've turned some laps, some hot laps, so it wasn't even really a race, in a dirt car, and it does, I mean, other than the feel, like you said, you don't have that feel of what the car's doing. It is damn near close to you being in a race car, and obviously I've never had the privilege of being in a next-gen car, nor should they ever let me anywhere near a next-gen car, but it feels like you're in the car. I mean, I've shown family members, some of my streams and stuff, and they're like, wow, that looks real. And I'm like, yeah, it feels real too. Like, it's pretty serious.
Oh yeah. I second that about letting me near a next gen car. I don't need near any kind of technology like that.
Yeah, me either. I mean, those cars are like $1 million a piece, maybe more, honestly. Don't let me near that car. But so we'll talk a little bit about the bracket challenge. Obviously, me and you were against each other at Charlotte, and I will never forget, there was a wreck on the tri-oval, and I had already used my fast repair. So when that wreck happened, I saw you in it, and I was in it too, and I'm like, oh fuck, like, I hope he got more damage than I did, because
I got killed.
my night is over if that's the case. And I remember I drove the rest of that, and you were a lap down. You went a lap down because I think you had to tow, maybe.
I had to tow. It like I let off. I seen the wreck start happening. There was a car went up toward the wall and come back across, and there was another couple in the infield. And I got out of the gas and okay, well, I can turn this way and then go around, and hopefully everybody's going to just stay up by the wall, I had a path through the middle, and then all of a sudden, I think it was Jeremy in the 74 was just dead sideways right in front of me, and I just killed him. I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah, and then
blew the motor, and I had to tow and got a lap down from towing and just couldn't make it back up.
Yeah, and in our team chat in Presidential Racing, I was like, because you were the first car lap down, and my car was, I think you still had a fast repair at that time. You just had to tow.
I did. I had to tow and then use the fast repair.
Yeah, so you were way faster than me, because I had used my fast repair already. So I'm like,
early in that race, me and you raced each other a pretty good bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had a great battle, and that's, I mean, I love racing around you, because I know now tonight I did a bad thing and I wrecked you, and I apologize. Anybody that watched that ARX stream, it was terrible, because for the first 45 minutes there was no sound because my computer reset all of my settings. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm talking. Yeah, I think I'm talking to people. Nobody can hear me. Nobody can hear Smeal. Nobody can hear the race cars. I mean, it was rough. But I also had the ticker up there so the people watching could see, where everybody was running. Well, I couldn't see my rearview mirror because the ticker was right.
The ticker, yeah.
Yeah, the ticker was over my rearview mirror. So I was looking at my relative best I could, but. I mean, the rearview mirror didn't matter when I hit you because you were in front of me, so there's no excuse for that. But hey, shit happens sometimes.
And that might have been part of the way I was driving the car. Is I think you were talking about it in the broadcast of the race that you cannot drive that car like a dirt car.
You can't.
You've basically got to drive it like an asphalt car on a slick track. To me, anyway, that's how I kind of felt it best. And I was backing my corners up and kind of rolling the center and then getting in the gas coming off. And you rolled the center a little faster than I did.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, when we started the heat, I had never driven this car on dirt before. Last week when I did the in-car broadcast was my first race that I did with the SRX car. And on asphalt, obviously, it was a handful, but it kind of it handled like I would expect that car to handle. Tonight, oh my Lord, in the heat race, I was driving it like I was in like a late model, like a super late model.
Yeah.
And as the laps kept going, I'm like, oh, I need to drive this like I'm on asphalt.
Yeah. And
as soon as that happened, it was like a switch flipped, and I was like, okay, yeah, I got it now. I got it.
And I get tickled, when everybody's kind of talking about it under caution about what gear you starting in, what gear you taking off in. And everybody's like, you take off in third and just roll the throttle down. I will tell you, I never used fourth gear, but maybe once or twice that whole main event.
Yeah, see, that's what I was telling Smeal that when I was in the broadcast. I was like, hey, are you in fourth? And he's like, yeah. I was like, man, I'm running in third, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I did too. You could get up off the bottom a little bit quicker off the corner, didn't lose, it's driver preference, I guess. I would take off in second, roll into it in second, and just kind of stay with everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's how I was. I was running in third, and I liked it. I did. I mean, I just I still ended up finishing fourth. I think Kent and Fetter Place were on top, or one of them was on top of my car as we crossed the start finish line. So
I remember when we were coming off of 4, coming to the checker, I'm like, Proudfoot was out front, and I was right beside Fetter Place, and the next thing I know, I just seen FedEx out of the right side of my car, and the next thing you know, I'm spinning through the infield, and I'm like, well, if I stand on it, hopefully it'll spin across the line, and I didn't get that lucky. So I went from, second, maybe third, fourth, right in there to 7th or 8th. So.
Hey, still a good finish.
That's fun.
Brandon Fetterplace is asking, what's in the background? Is that a crawler behind you? What is that? A little RC car?
That's my 10th scale Chevrolet Suburban crawler. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. I had a RC car. Actually, me and Cody had. Man, I hope Cody's watching because he will remember this story. We had those nitro RC cars that would run on like nitro, and I will never forget one time I was at Tracy's house. Me, Cody, and his brother Kyle were all out there. We all had our own little nitro RC cars, and I made the mistake of not turning on the remote. The remote control.
I know where this is going.
Yep. I didn't turn on the remote control, and I stuck. I'm telling y'all, this thing has a starter on it like an Indy car. You stick this thing in the back of it. For those of y'all that don't know, these nitro RC cars, I mean, it had a damn spark plug. I mean, it had everything. This thing was serious. I stuck that damn thing in the back of that car, and I hit that starter button. And that son of a bitch started up wide ass
the servo defaults wide open.
Yep, because my remote wasn't on. When you turn the remote on, it goes into neutral. Not neutral, but it's like it's in the middle, so it doesn't have gas. Well, I didn't I didn't turn my remote on. I stuck the starter in the back of that sumbitch, and I started, and it went what, and it took off, and it hit a fire pit in the distance, and dude, I'll never forget. Tracy was running after it. Me and Cody were running after it. Dude, that was wild. But now they have all these damn electric RC cars, and they're just as fast, if not faster, than the nitro cars. It's crazy.
A couple of years ago on my birthday, my wife got me I picked it out, but she was like, "Okay, get it." It's a Traxxas Hoss 4x4, brushless, and this thing, I swear, I've done nothing to it, and this damn thing it will run 55 mile an hour, just basically bone stock out of the box. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy what they can do with it. I had after that event, I was like, I'm not fucking with these nitro cars anymore. Give me a battery, But even
they're low maintenance.
They are, yeah, they're very low maintenance. The nitro cars, you have to run them out of the nitro. Then you have
check the head temp.
Yeah, you have to. You have to turn them upside down and start them, without the fuel in them. And I mean, it was just too much. I mean, I wasn't a kid, but I was probably 14 or 15, and I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. So when I was like 25, 26, I bought an electric nitro Rustler that had a battery pack in it, and man, that thing was so much fun. And all I had to do when I was done with it, unplug the battery, plug it up to charge it. That's it.
It was ready to go. The next time you wanted to play with it, just plug it up and go.
Exactly, yeah. So that's cool that you have that.
Oh, yeah.
I know they have some. I mean, Traxxas has really got some great. Like, they have Ford Broncos, they have Ford Mustangs, they have, all these different, like, brand name RC cars that are crazy. Like,
their Mustang is my weakness. Okay, I have a Mustang problem. I've got 4 right now if you count the totaled out Hulk. That's the one from 2020. But they have the no prep drag car that's like the 93 Fox body notchback. I'm gonna have to have one of those. I have an 85 GT hatchback Fox body right now, and I'm gonna end up having to have one of those.
Well, we just became best friends because I'm a Mustang fan too. I have a 2013 GT Mustang. Unfortunately, it is still in Georgia.
Oh no! And you're in Michigan now?
I'm in Michigan now. Yeah. So when Kinsey came to get me and my stuff, we had her car because I had my rig. That's really the only thing that I brought with me other than clothes. So we had her car packed with, I got my Fanatec. You can't really see it, but Fanatec, my NASCAR wheel here, my PC, I couldn't even ship my monitors. I had to get them shipped later.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was, but I really didn't want to drive my car 12 hours to Michigan. So I left it, and hopefully I'll get it shipped to Michigan soon, especially now that the weather's nice here in Michigan.
Yes.
It's not snowing anymore. It's 75 degrees pretty much every day. Yeah. So hopefully I'll get it shipped, but I miss it for sure.
I love mine. Like I said, I've got my 85. It's black, tan interior GT. Still got the factory 5.0 short block, but it's got heads, cam, intake, ignition, it's disc brakes all the way around. It's had a lot done to it, and I bought it that way. All I've done is beat the ever-loving piss out of it, and this little car just takes it and keeps it going.
Dude, mine was the 2013 was the first year that they brought the 5.0 back.
5.0 back, yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, we went to Disney World back in March with Kinsey's family. And on the way back, I was like, hey, we're driving through Atlanta. Let's take I-20 down to my dad's. So we went, on the way back, and we stopped, and we had, a big party, bonfire and everything. And I got I was like, man, my car's sitting there. I need to drive this thing. So I got it. I got in that son of a bitch. I charged the battery because it was dead, because it's been sitting for a while.
Sitting, yeah.
Yeah. And man, I got in that thing and we went around the block, just having fun. And man, I was like, God, this thing is bad to the bone. Like I need to get this thing up here in Michigan. I'm gonna put some people to shame on the interstate. I mean,
yeah, I like I said, I cut mine. Mine gets no slack. It lives a rough life. I take care of it.
Yeah,
but
same.
If I'm getting on the interstate, and we're going on the interstate, sporty as hell.
Oh yeah,
I autocross it. That has been my real racing that I've done over the last year and a half or so, was doing autocross, which is a lot harder than it looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was one time I freaking drove too deep in a corner and locked the tires up, slid through about 5 or 6 cones, and it's like, damn, this isn't just getting out and driving around a parking lot.
Yeah, like this is serious. Oh man, yeah. Well, let's see. Let's talk a little bit about what you drive with on iRacing. We talked a little bit about what you drive with in real life, but what kind of setup you got? Wheel, pedals, things like that. What are you using?
Just looking at your steering wheel there, I've got the same exact steering wheel and Fanatec set up, or at least the steering wheel and the buttons around the steering whel. I've got a CSL Elite base because I got it when I wanted to do PS4, PS5 stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
I got the Club Sport 3 or 2.5 or 3 pedals. I can't remember which one they are. I've had this stuff since 2020, and it's been really good. If it fails tomorrow, I cannot complain about it.
Yeah. And
then I've got my most recent thing is I've got into trying to make shit for myself instead of buying it. So if you see right here behind my head, there's a 3D printer.
Oh yeah.
And I bought some stuff and made my own button box over here to the side. And it's a little janky. Buttons are a little uneven spaced, but hey, I done it myself for about $20. So
hey, can't complain about that. Yeah, I have the I used to run the Logitech G923 for the longest time. And I quickly realized that my talent level, I need all the help I can get. So yeah. So for a long time I raced on a Logitech G27. Oh yeah, that's like old school.
Yes, and I bought the damn thing used from eBay years ago. It was probably 2015 or 16. And when I bought my Fanatec stuff in 2020, I boxed it up real good, put it in the garage. Well, except for the shifter, I do still use the shifter with an adapter cable to make it stand alone.
Yeah.
But I just unboxed this thing 2 weeks ago. My son's like, "Hey, Dad, I'd like to do some driving stuff on my PC." And I'm like, "Well, I got that other steering wheel." So we unboxed it, hooked it up on his computer, and the damn Logitech from years ago still works perfect.
Yeah. Logitech makes really good stuff, but I knew that if I was going to be competitive in ARCS anymore, I had to make an upgrade. So I bought the Fanatec Direct Drive 2, the DD2, and of course, the NASCAR wheel with the buttons and everything, because obviously as an admin, you got to have buttons to call cautions and stuff. But it made me from probably a 28th place car to maybe a 21st place car. So it helped. I'm not winning races, but hey, it gave me a couple more spots on track, so I'll take it. So
yeah. Now I could probably stand to upgrade my monitor. Right now I'm just on a single 32-inch curved monitor. I don't have. I've tried VR. VR makes me seasick.
Yeah.
And my face gets hot and sweaty. It feels like a starfish stuck to my face.
Yeah.
The immersion in the damn.
Oh yeah.
Is awesome, but I can't do that on my face for 2 hours at a time. I just can't.
I agree. I wouldn't be able to do it either. And look, Feemster, Kevin Feemster, Dustin Painter, both run VR, and both of them have had issues where their VR quits in the middle of a race. And I'm like, I just don't know that I could commit to that. Like, at least I know my monitors, unless my cat or my dog rip the
Yeah.
power cord out, they're for the most part they're gonna stay on, and I can see things. So I tried. Cody had one for about 2 or 3 weeks, and he was the same way. He tried his, and he was like, "Man, I'm getting sick doing this. Like I can't do it." So he.
Yeah, I tried all the little gimmicks and all that. Blow a fan, have a box fan and blow it on your face, and I tried all that. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I don't even really like wearing like safety glasses at work, but I have to because it's rules, or sunglasses. Yeah, like I don't like things over my eyes, so to have a whole box over my face, yeah, I don't think I would like that at all.
And it don't breathe either. There's no air.
There's no fan in there, and for anybody that has run an A squared race, you're driving your damn balls off, so you're sweating already. Yes. I'll turn the air on. I'll turn the air down to like 67 degrees. Poor Kinsey is freezing. She's freezing her ass off in the living room. And she's like, why do you have it so low? And I'm like, come back here with this PC. And me racing my ass off and see if it's still cold. Cause
I've got a box fan right here that blows on me during A squared, and I've got the AC vent from the house that's right here next to my hip. And this seat doesn't help either. I love my seat. This is one of the things I bought right after my wreck. My wife told me, if you're going back racing after I had my wreck, I'm going to bubble wrap you. And you're going to get all new safety equipment because we're no more head injuries. You're not doing this anymore. So I bought this, nice turkey full containment seat. And then when I sold my car, the guy's like, well, I'm 100 pounds heavier than you. That seat's not going to fit me. And I'm like, well, hell, I'll just keep the seat then. I know right where it can go.
Yeah, I'll put it on my rig and we'll all be good. Yeah, I got this. I don't even know what this seat is. I think it's a play seat. I bought it from. I went to Micro Center after I bought my wheel. I bought my shifter that I have and my pedals, which are I can't remember the name of them. Cody has the same pedals that I have, or used to. I think he has the Moza pedals now, but that's a brand that the Moza wheel and pedals have really taken off. I know Smeal has them, Cody has them. There's a couple other people that have those that wheel and pedal combo. It's a good setup.
Yes, I know several people even outside of ARCS that run them and have had nothing but great things to say about them. I guess you've got the whole. Is that the whole play seat rig deal there?
Yeah, it's the chair, and then it's got the all my stuff's bolted up to it, and I love it. It's great. Yeah. It's pretty comfortable too. I mean, it's not like when I do the 24-hour races, when we do our endurance races, after about like 5 or 6 hours, it starts to get uncomfortable. But I mean, any chair that you sit in for 6 hours, let's be honest, it's going to be uncomfortable. Like,
yes. Well, I've got $700 worth of seat that I bought in 2020, and then however many hundreds of dollars all this Fanatec shit I've bought over the years. And it's all on about $150 worth of scrap lumber. I built my own deal out of lumber.
Hell yeah!
So that's my whole deal. Is I've got a whole bunch of nice racing stuff, and it's basically on a couple of 2x6s, 2x4s supply.
Hey, if it works, it works. I know when I finally upgraded my PC. It's probably been about 2 years ago. I bought a PC and I really spared no expenses. I mean, it was I think it ended up being about $2,000, but I wanted something that I knew could potentially one day run 3 monitors, because I would love to have. I have 2 monitors right now, but I only have iRacing on one, and then my second monitor has Discord or whatever else I need to have up. I would love to transition to 3 monitors. a
would
lot.
too. And
Yeah,
you know,
it's crazy.
I did the same thing. I kind of future proofed when they were getting ready to do all the iRacing weather and graphical updates for the rain and all that. I'm like I say, because I was racing, you know, before February end of February when I bought my PC I have now. I was racing off of about a 2-year-old gaming laptop, and I would just hook HDMI cord to my laptop and run it on the monitor, and that's how I raced.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Which it done great, you know. But you know, I thought, well, with all this new stuff coming up, and the fact that I'd like to eventually go to a triple monitor setup, it's time for me to do something. And so I kind of went overboard.
Yeah,
and my wife, she's a great sport with this because she's like, okay, just go ahead. And I'm like, she said, you work hard, go ahead. So okay.
Yeah. Hey, that's what matters. Yeah, I like to do other stuff too. Like I love Flight Simulator. That's one of my kind of favorite things to do other than iRacing. So there's a lot of computer rendering that has to be happening when you're flying, Flight Simulator. So I just went all out, and I told the guy that built my PC, I was like, I run iRacing, but I also do Flight Simulator, and I do a lot of streaming and broadcasting. So make it to where it can handle a lot. And
yeah.
He did a damn good job. He really did. So
yeah. Farming Simulator is my other weakness on mine, so that's kind of my other Farming Simulator. I like, and BeamNG.
I have BeamNG too. That's fun.
There's something about just, hey, can I jump this 100-foot gorge and see how bad this car comes apart when it hits the other side? It appeals to me sometimes.
Yeah,
it's good stress relief.
Oh yeah, I mean you can wreck a car. I'll never forget. We had. I don't remember what we were doing, but I had the NASCAR mod pack for BeamNG. So like it was like Chase Elliott and a couple other cars, and I was at like one of the maps where it was like crazy jumps and stuff, and I was in there just jumping stuff, and people were watching me and just laughing. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Of course, hey, sometimes that's the kind of people you get in iRacing too, especially if you're in an official lobby.
True.
They're jumping stuff.
Yeah, they're jumping corners, they're jumping turns. Yeah, it's wild. All right, so let's get into another question that I kind of ask everybody on here. You run a pretty good amount of series in ARCS. Obviously, you run Friday nights, you run Sunday. Who's one or two of your favorite people to race around, and then who's maybe one or two of your least favorite people to race around, whether it's ARCS on Friday nights or A Squared on Sunday nights?
Well, people I like to race around, of course, and I guess it's just because I've known Kerr for a long time. I love racing around Kerr.
Yeah.
Not that he's on, I'm on his team, so. But I've raced with him for a while, and yourself, I like racing around you because I know you're going to run me clean unless just stuff happens like that earlier tonight. But hey, shit happens. And I don't know. This is probably stereotypical, but I like racing around the guys and gals that are faster than me.
Yeah.
Because I want to get to that point.
Yep.
So. And as far as somebody I dislike racing around, I don't really have one or two people per se. It's more that I don't like some of the driving styles of some of the people. Hey, why are we 3 wide or trying to go 4 wide and we're still in stage 1? I understand stage points are a big deal, but we're in 20th. You've just been running up front and spun out, and you're back here with me now. And we're going 3 wide. Hey, you're faster than me. Use your speed to pass me. Let's not put everybody in a bad spot.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of that happens in A Squared. Unfortunately, we had what was it? 2 races ago, we had a bad race.
Oh my god! Yeah,
it was rough.
It was rough.
New Hampshire was a little bit better. I've had to do this a couple times where I lay into everybody a little bit in the driver's meeting, and I know everybody's like, well, he's an asshole. Well, yeah, I am an asshole because I've been doing this for 4 years, and I don't want my product on track to be shit. I mean, y'all figure your shit out.
We don't want 200 laps of eye pacing.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants that.
So really, I don't have really one or two people to gripe about per se, but but it's more the people that are fast. Listen, there is some excellent drivers in A2 that are super fast, have wicked speed. I've had to stop going into practice as soon as practice opens and laying down my best lap. I thought, hell yeah, I'll throw that down and it's a great lap. Because some of the people that are like alien fast are going to come in 30 minutes, and then I'm going to be like, well, shit.
Yeah, damn.
Damn, I thought I was kicking ass. I had a fast lap going in there. I'm 8/10 off.
That's why I love when the NASCAR races run like almost up to our start time because I won't practice, and I'm like, well, I didn't run a practice lap, and then I qualified 25th, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take it.
So I've had to pull myself back to it, and probably practicing more would help me get to that. But hey, I'm an instant gratification kind of guy. I want to be fast right out of the gate, and I'm just not.
Yeah. Look, we've talked about that with a couple of our guests on this podcast. Where me personally, I would love to practice for Sunday night, but I just don't have the time. I mean, I'm working 55, 60 hours a week, just like most people in the ARCS Discord. I mean, we all have jobs, we all have other things, we have lives outside of this fake racing, and I just can't practice like I was able to in 2020 when the I didn't have anything going on because you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go to a restaurant. You couldn't go to a bar. You couldn't even go to the grocery store. No,
you couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, all you could do was just be at home. And now that's changed, it's I don't have the time. And I honestly, I don't want to put the time to practice. I don't. And I know that sounds shitty, but I have a life.
Not.
I mean,
because you can turn, just like any other hobby, you can turn this into work real easy. And if you put that kind of time in it, and then on Sunday, you get caught in somebody else's wreck on lap 10, and then here you've spent every night this week racing and practicing and practicing and practicing, and just to get took out on lap 10, what was it for? Exactly. And that frustrates you, and then you end up burnt out and don't want to do it no more. I mean, it's, just any hobby has that same line, and it is human nature. I think I punched out today at 5:30, and I was at 58 hours this week for what time I was on the clock, which don't matter because I'm flat rate, but but that's usually my average, about 55 to 60 hours a week. And then like this week, good old Hyundai dropped about 30 something web training modules on me that has to be done by the end of the month. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be dragging my feet next week trying to get them done. So literally I would, all week this week, I've come home from work, done supper, got my kids situated, and sat down with my laptop and went through all of my training modules for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
So tonight was fun to actually get to turn loose and do something different.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about Friday nights and Monday nights with Dustin Painter and ARCS Extreme. I mean, and when we ran Detour on Wednesday nights, those series are fun because you just, again, we're all competitive. We all want to win, but at the same time, we're just out there having fun.
Mean, yeah. And that's the whole reason that any of us got into anything like this, because, whether or not I drove a race car or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, from the time I was old enough to know what a race car was, I'm a damn race fan.
Yep.
And I don't give a damn what kind of car it is. A race car is cool. I don't know, Formula One, IndyCar, NASCAR, even the front wheel drives that some of my buddies race on dirt down here.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell. Maybe the rev limiter in the pit area gets a little bit annoying, but it's a damn race car and it's cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Fetter Place said you can practice in 30 minutes, and that doesn't hurt your personal life. Then when Sunday hits, you have an idea and can work on. Yeah, I mean, that's the same way. I mean, I have practiced before where I've turned, like you said, I mean, there was a couple races last year where, I made the top 16, which is not looking good for me this year. But, I made the top 16 last year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to turn laps. And I turned, no shit, I probably turned 500 laps of practice. And we get in the session, and I practiced good. I qualified pretty good. And the race would start, and like you said, I'd get involved in a wreck on lap 8 that wasn't even my fault. And now that whole 500 laps of practice that I just turned, and it's out the window, because now I got to use my faster pair on lap 10, and now I'm just in self-defense mode for the rest of the race.
You're driving guarded the rest of the race to keep from getting in another wreck. And and I'll tell you another thing. Along those same lines is I do better when I have something to shoot for. Like when I get in a test session and I'm out there making laps by myself, yeah, I can get an idea on a fuel run or a tire, how long I can get on a set of tires or just stretch some tires and fuel out for. But as far as getting the car around the track any faster, not having anybody out there to run with or having a lap time to shoot for, I don't do good at that. And I was even like that in the real car. If I'm out there just by myself, we had a couple times we would do single car qualifying, and I wasn't worth the shit. And then we get in a pack in the race, and I kind of had something to gauge off of, another car to say, hey, I can get through this corner better than that guy by doing this. It helped me out 110%.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love running an A² this year, because the only way I'm going to get faster is watching faster people race around me. And it has helped me tremendously. I mean, I think it's at the end of this month or maybe in June, I will make my 600th start in ARCS. Yeah, which is wild. But that's how I get a lot of my speed is, if a fast car passes me, I'm following them. I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm trying to match that. And normally I can't, because I don't have the talent, but it's just fun. It's fun to have people around you. Because again, I mean, we know people that run in series where they're the fastest driver, and it's cool to win, but it is so much sweeter when you win and your competition is as good as our competition is. Man, I mean, like Sunday, we got Atlanta. I mean, that's a super speedway. That's anybody could win that thing on Sunday. Yeah. And I'm going to drive through some motherfuckers on Sunday. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to drive through some people on Sunday. So get out of my way if you see the 12 car behind you.
And hey, maybe that's my cue to, maybe I need to be a little more aggressive too, because I think I've only used one of my incident points so far. If I had to go back and look to see.
Me too.
Maybe it's my time to get up on the wheel and get a little aggressive and bump some of these fuckers around.
Hey, we got to. I mean, that's look. I'm not a very aggressive driver. Anybody that races with me knows that I'm a pretty clean driver. I'm aware that if somebody behind me is faster than me, I'm not gonna block them. That's just dumb. I'm gonna let them go. Some people in A² don't have that courtesy. They have no clue. They don't give a shit who you are or who you drive for. They're going to run through your ass, and that pisses me off sometimes. But
hey, look, I got so damn mad at Dover, and this is probably going to be a funny story now that I'm going to tell it. But I was like 20-something. I was not even in the picture for any stage points or anything like that, and I think we were still in stage 1. I don't even think we made it to stage 2 yet. And the 04 is Emma's car. Was that Emma? The 04.
Yeah, Emma. Yep.
Okay, something happened, a wreck happened. The 04 is back with me, and like I'm getting little green indicator incident points popping up on the top of my screen because I'm just getting bump. Get beside me, little rub on the door, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but it's a little early to be running that risk of causing a big crash. Mm-hmm. And about the fourth or fifth time, maybe third, I can't remember exactly, because at one point I fuck it, I'm Ryan Newman now. I'm going to be extremely hard to pass just because you've earned that.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I race people that are around me how they race me. So
exactly, yeah. If you're gonna drive like a jackass, so am I.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know on Sunday nights, I know that when certain people are around me, I'm gonna give them room. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be courteous. But when other people are around me, I ain't giving you a damn inch. Yeah.
And I'll be the first to tell you, I will screw my race up trying to just be clean. There's no telling how many times I've damaged my car or done something to put myself at a disadvantage just trying to, okay, shit, you want that spot? Just take it. Or you want this line? Take it. I want to be there at the end to finish the race and not be the guy that causes trouble. But like I said, maybe it's time for me to be that guy. Hey. We're getting close to the cutoff for the playoffs. Maybe it's time for me to be a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Rupert actually talked on our podcast last weekend about when he wrecked me at Talladega. And he, I was pissed. I think I even came over at iRacing Comms and was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like. And he didn't think he did anything wrong, but then when he went back and he watched it, he was like, "Oh shit, dude, yeah, that was on me, like 100% on me." And we all have been there. I've been there. I mean, inside that race car, it's hard to see. It really is.
It is hard to see, and then you go back and look at the replay after. Oh, I fucked
up. Yeah. I mean, I have been multiple times where I was like, that motherfucker just wrecked me. And I go back and look, and I'm like, oh, shit, I turned down on him. Oh,
yeah, it's hell. When you watch the replay after the race and go, damn, I should protest myself.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, you know what? That might have been my fault. Oh, well, we'll go to next week.
Let's talk about, since I didn't have any, one racer in particular to gripe about, but I'm going to throw this out there. The race comms deal. I don't need to hear if you've got a quarter panel bent on your car.
Yeah.
Hey, when I drove that dirt car for 20-something years, I didn't have nobody to tell me, hey, you got a tire rubbed.
Yeah.
Drive the car. If you think it's damaged, go down pit road. Yeah. I don't want to hear y'all talk about it from my own caution.
For real, we've tried to crack down on that, but we still have people. Hey, how's my front end look? Well, motherfucker, go down pit road and you'll figure out how your front end looks. Like,
and then you kind of want to be a little bit of a wild card, be like, damn, the whole front end's gone and it looked fine, but just to be that asshole.
Yeah, you're missing your front clip. Oh, really?
Yeah, the front end's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it don't look like I'm missing it. Oh yeah, it's gone, buddy. It's gone.
I didn't have but 2 seconds optional. What the hell? Hey, you asked.
Yeah, you asked me. I just was telling you what I knew.
I got to get every edge I can.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to play mind games, but I think Sunday night will be fun. Hopefully everybody's, I mean, it's getting to the point where everybody's just battling. I mean, I think I'm 21st in points or 20th in points. I mean, I have been driving my ass off and I can't get shit. I can't get nothing.
Like 29th or 30th. And the thing of it is there has been some races that I have just done the stupidest shit. Shit I know better than to do, and I've done it anyway. It's like speeding on pit road or...
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
It's the stupidest stuff I've done, and it's like, oh, God. I don't even want to own up to it. It was so stupid.
I've been there before. I went down pit road one time, and I got to pit road too fast, and I passed somebody that was staying out on track, and it gave me a passing under yellow, and I'm like, fuck. So now I got to serve this 40-second penalty, and, I'm going to be damn near a lap down. I mean, you just have to be so in tune on Sunday nights that it's wild. That's why I love, like, Fridays, and I haven't really been able to run much on Mondays with Dustin's stuff, but some of these laid-back series, that's why I just love racing.
Just to go jump in a car and race a little bit, not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
You got Sunday night serious, you got to be on your game.
Oh, yeah. It's wild.
And I'm sure that my fellow Black Acid teammates will tell you too. I'll do something stupid, and then they probably get tired of listening to me bitch at myself for doing it over team chat.
Yeah, well, Dale's been in the chat too. He was he actually asked who your favorite Black Acid teammate was.
Well, I mean, if I don't say it's Kerr,
yeah, he's gotta say Kerr, Dale. Come on now.
But no, all three of those guys are awesome because we all three or all four, all four of us share a lot of the same opinion on this stuff, and it's like, basically sometimes we're racing, and if somebody starts to say something, the other one can finish his sentence because we're already griping and pissed off about the same shit going on.
Yeah. I feel like that's how a lot of the team chats go. That's one thing with, that's one reason why I really love TNT, because TNT doesn't have team chats. Everybody's in the Discord together. I feel like that really limits drivers. If you're going to drive through somebody, that motherfucker is in the chat with you at that moment. Yeah. So there is no iRacing comms. There is no hitting a button. That motherfucker is with you in that second that you run them over. And I've always loved that about TNT. Obviously, SNS and A Squared, we do have teams. So if you run somebody pretty hard, sometimes maybe they don't even say anything over the iRacing chat because, again, we try and keep iRacing chat to bare minimum. Sometimes it gets a little excessive, but we've done pretty good overall this year. But I mean, it's a different ball game when you're not in the chat with someone in that moment. It's like, whoa, like you don't have to really say anything because it's like, he's not in here. He's not in here with me. Yeah, I didn't hear him. We're good.
But hey, that being all being in the one channel of chat, if you need to light somebody up, you can light them up, boy.
Oh yeah, you can. In TNT, if somebody runs through me, within the millisecond that they hit me, I'm over the Discord and I'm like, what in the hell were you doing? Like, are you a moron? Like, come on now. I mean, but it's just a different series, and everybody, every series runs things a little bit differently. So
yeah,
that's what's cool about ARCS. I mean, everything's different. Friday night's the same way. Yeah. I mean, y'all are all in the same chat other than me and Samil, who are racing and broadcasting at the same time. So, but it's fun to just have those laid back series because I feel like every league needs that. Like,
you don't need but one or two maybe serious series, and then have several several small ones that people just go and blow off some steam and have a good time.
Yeah,
not everybody wants to be serious 100% of the time.
No, for sure, and I mean that's how ARCS is. We have, I would say TNT, SNS, and A Squared are our three. Serious series. Obviously, only short track series, OST, as most people know it. That's pretty serious series as well. But it's fun. It's laid back. Steven Oberstadt and Jack Mulkey have done a damn good job of recruiting new members for that. And those late model stock cars are so much fun to drive. Much fun.
I need to get with them and get in on that because I do like the late model stock cars, and it sounds so good. The sound in that car is awesome.
It is. I mean, I think they're starting back up. I can't look at it because I'm on Discord, but they're starting a series up here pretty soon, which has stirred up some controversy in our ARCS admin chat, which I've been dealing with all day. So, but I mean, hey, you'll have that, as an owner.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's ever happy. I mean,
can't please everybody.
Exactly. Nobody.
But you can tell everybody to piss off if you need to too. So.
Well, luckily I'm the owner, so at the end of the day, I can do whatever the fuck I want to.
Hell yeah.
That's what some of these people don't know, but they'll find out eventually. I don't want to be like Kim Jong Un or Kim Jong Un or Ern.
Yeah.
I don't want to say his name wrong, but
Be the dictator.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be a dictator, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do to make ARCS run, and we've done very well. We've had, I mean, shit. At one point, we were running almost 6-7 nights a week, and that's wild to even say out loud, but we have been there, and even right now we're running, Mondays. Kevin Feemster's High Octane series is running on Wednesdays with the old 2013 SS car, which is
it's a handful.
Oh my God, 900 something horsepower, and that car hauls ass.
So I joined in that last week just to see if I remembered how to drive those cars, and it had been a long time since I had driven those gen cars. And the first time I went down into turn one, we were at Michigan, right?
Michigan, yep.
And the car broke loose and got sideways getting into turn one.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
That is the only stock car I've ever driven in my life that I was able to drift through an entire corner at Michigan, not Bristol, Michigan. I was sideways.
I kind of got my fill of racing with everybody, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to end up getting up here and screwing somebody else's race up. So I just kind of dropped back, and then I was like, let's see how far I can slide the car through this corner.
Yeah. I did that during practice. I was like sideways halfway through the corner, and I was just like, hey, I feel like I'm in a dirt car. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
And that's...
Why did my tires not last more than 10 minutes?
Exactly. And that's one thing I feel like you probably are on the same page as me, just, with your racing background. Man, I tell you what, if a race car can race loose in the setup, oh my God, look out, I'm going to be fast. That's why I'm so bad at next gens. You can't get those fucking things loose to save your life.
And what I found out, if I finally figure out the combination to getting them loose, getting in the corner or off the corner, it's always too much, too fast, and around I go.
Oh yeah, that's how I am. I mean, that thing will be stuck in the. I'll be sitting here wheeling this thing. Oh yeah, this thing's stuck, and all of a sudden, it breaks loose, and I'm around. I'm gone. I mean,
yeah, they're just like, well, that didn't work all that great.
Yeah. But man, them like Gen 6s that SNS is running this year, that car, oh my God, that car is so much fun to drive because it's so loose. Any car that drives loose, I'm not good, but I'm better than I am at next gen. Next gen's just like you turn into the corner and you got your wheel like this. And it's still just, we're going to the wall. Like,
and even in the real car, it was always a pet peeve for the car to push or be too tight. It's me off to no end when it would do that.
Yeah, I'm a dirt guy at heart. I mean, like I said, me growing up with my cousin and my uncle racing dirt. I mean, a loose race car is fast, and it's very fast for me because I know how to keep the momentum in it without losing control. That's why in TNT, I mean, hell, I'm tied for 4th in points right now because that Gen 4 car is loose and it is fun to drive. So much fun. Like, Holy shit, it's so much fun.
Yeah, oh yeah. Seems like the ones with the more horsepower and less grip, the more fun they are.
Mm-hmm.
And and I keep telling myself I try not to get involved in too many different series, because if I'm driving a whole bunch of different cars, I don't feel like I'm learning the one I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. Is I'll get in like official races during the week, and well, hell, let's race a short course truck. Oh, let's race the GR86 and the road course, or the Miatas.
Yeah.
And then I don't learn nothing, but I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah. That's all that matters. I mean, I don't remember who told me, but somebody that was really fast one time told me the best way to get faster is to run every car at every track, run every discipline, run trophy trucks at, a dirt road course.
Yeah.
Run, Indy at, I mean, that's how you get better, because you learn different disciplines, and then when you're running IndyCar at Indianapolis or whatever, you're going, oh shit, I could use this for Sunday, I mean,
Yeah.
this is interesting. So that's why I run as many races as I do in ARCS. I mean, that's one of the things that has kept me competitive without practice, is I'm racing 5-6 times a week.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
It's not
All
good.
different.
Yeah, it's not good for my personal life, because Kenzie's always like, "You're racing again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am." And she's like, "When do you have a night off?" And I'm like, "I don't. I never have a night off, but it's fun."
I think, of course, my wife may get aggravated at me and want to run me out of the house sometimes, but now just doing this kind of racing instead of the real racing, where I would come home from work and then grab up my son and take off to my granddad's house to work on the race cars till dark every night.
Yep.
Now I'm coming home from work and I'm home.
Yeah.
And
so at least you had that. You had that advantage. You went from being away to at least now you're at home. Yep. Yeah, you might be on the rig, but hey, you're at home. And that's all that matters.
And I probably kill, like I know a lot of people worry about their I rating and this, that, and the other. I will kill I rating just to jump up if I need to go do something.
Yeah.
So I do it for fun. So and she's right here fixing to leave for work right now. So
hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Got to make the money. Hey man, got to make the money.
She's going to sit with the crazy people at the nursing home. She's
yeah, and them
works with the Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah, I was gonna say them dementia patients, man. They don't know where they're at. I mean, hey,
no,
maybe
she's probably fixing to make the house shake, because she drives a 06 Mustang GT.
Oh hell yeah!
So that's what I said. I've got 3. I've got her 06, and my son's got a 99 GT, and then I've got my 85. So I don't know if it'll be. I don't know that it'll pick up through the mic. It's loud.
Yeah, well, I knew we would be good friends, but when you told me you owned 4 Mustangs, hey, best friend, buddy.
I need to post a picture of my Ford truck too. I like my Mustangs, but I've got a F100, a '66 model. That's my baby. My granddad bought brand new off of a dealership showroom here in our area, and it's been in my family since it was brand new.
Hell yeah. I actually have a very similar story. I don't have an F100, but my dad actually has a 65 F100 that he's been rebuilding for probably the past 5 or 6 years. I mean, he's got the cab off of it. He literally
big project.
I don't know if you've ever watched Home Improvement with where he had the frame with the motor on it. My dad right now has a frame for the 65 F100 with a motor on it that my grandfather has a machine shop where he builds race car engines for circle track and drag racing, and I helped him a lot, and it was I loved helping him. I built the motor that my dad has on that frame. And
Hell yeah.
we have this redneck, I mean, the most redneck setup you could ever see. But he has gauges in this little box that we wired up, so he can fire up that engine. It's a 393 stroker motor, so it's a badass motor. I mean, it's got a badass cam. And we literally, when I used to live with my dad before I moved to Michigan, you know, we would go out there, on a Friday or Saturday night and fire that thing up, and God, that thing sounds so good. Fuck. It sounded so good. I have a 68 Mercury Cougar, which is a very, very rare car. Most people don't even know what that car is. It's basically it's the same thing as a Ford Mustang. I mean,
it's a luxury Mustang.
Exactly. I mean, nowadays, you have Ford and then you have Lincoln. Lincoln is the luxury Ford brand.
Yeah.
In the 60s, Mercury was the luxury Ford brand. So I have a 1968 Mercury Cougar that I built the motor in. It's a 302. It's got a badass cam, so when it fires up and it's sitting there idling, that thing will fucking talk to you, bud. I mean, it'll be like, whoa. I mean, that thing it's ready to go.
And I love that. I've been to these caffeine and octane cars and coffee type things, and these guys fire these Ferraris and Porsches up like that, but they'll never be nothing sounds as good as a good V8 with a set of pipes and a camshaft.
Oh yeah, man. A good 302 with a cam in it, with some Flowmasters on it. Oh man, I tell you what, I get semi-erect just thinking about it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I got videos of, and it was cool because like my grandfather bought that 1968 Mercury Cougar brand new, kind of like what you were saying with your Ford truck, and my grandfather gave it to my dad when my dad turned 16. And then my dad gave that car to me when I turned 16. And that car is something, I don't care if that car is worth $55,000. I wouldn't sell that thing. If I was, if I had to file bankruptcy and owed the government 15 grand, I wouldn't sell that fucker.
I just have to owe.
Yeah.
I would just have to owe because I'm going to keep my truck. I will literally sell damn near everything I've got with that truck stay.
Yeah, and that's how I am with that damn Cougar. I mean, that thing, and like you said, I mean, you got, yours was in your family. We kind of have a similar story, man. Those things are so special. Like, it's crazy. Like, a lot of people don't again, I hate to ask this on the podcast, but I'm going to anyway. How old are you?
I am about a month and a half shy of 39, so
39,
38,
okay.
Almost 39. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 32. I'll be 33 this November, so we're kind of close. But,
pretty close, yeah.
But these young kids, man, they just don't get it. I mean, they don't understand, like, because I was right there in that time frame where when I was a kid, video games were really kind of starting to come out. I mean, I remember me and Cody used to play NASCAR Thunder 2003.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. But and I talked about this with several other people on the podcast, where kids nowadays, like, you think about me and you growing up, and again, you're about 6 or 7 years older than me. Mm-hmm. We had video games, yes, but the online feature, it didn't exist. I mean, the only way you could race against someone else is if you went to that person's house. Mm-hmm. And you had split screen with two controllers, and you only had 13 cars on track because they couldn't handle a full field with split screen. And nowadays, man, kids are 13, 14 years old, and they're out here running iRacing with grown ass men like me and you, and they're waxing the field. I mean, That's something we just didn't have when we were growing up. We didn't.
No, we didn't. I mean, I remember the most high tech thing we had was PlayStation 2 with Dirt to Daytona.
Oh yeah, what a great game!
Me and my dad played that every night for a long time. We would come in from the garage working on the real car and sit down and we raced the dirt cars. I don't know that we ever ran an asphalt track in that game.
Oh yeah,
with each other. We ran the dirt cars because that was up.
Did you ever play Saturday Night Speedway?
Yes, that was another.
Oh my dude, the disc and the cover of that game
yes.
as a 12-year-old, bro,
it was awesome.
I didn't even know what, and this is probably going to get us canceled, but I don't even care at this point. As a 12-year-old, I didn't even know what jacking off was, but I wanted to do it when I saw that cover.
The cover was awesome. Yeah. And the original World of Outlaws sprint car game on PS2 was fucking amazing.
Bro, and they had, at that time, they had figured out in that game how to change the track as you raced.
Yes.
I mean, that was wild to me. Like, I was amazed. Like, I was like, the track is changing as we are racing. And I'm 10 years old running World of Outlaws sprint cars. Yeah, and the track is changed. Like, obviously, iRacing perfected that shit. I mean, they got it down to a T.
Ridiculous how technologically advanced everything is nowadays. God.
Saturday Night Speedway, Look, I hope Cody listens to this because we ran some. I mean, sometimes we wouldn't even play the game. We would just look at the disc. We weren't even racing dirt cars. We'd looked at the disc just and be like, hell yeah. I mean, it was wild.
I really in the mid to late 90s is when I really got into NASCAR.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was always into dirt racing. My dad started driving dirt cars in 1990 or 1991. Can't remember which one. So I was always around that. Mm-hmm. But, getting into the NASCAR stuff and the old Papyrus NASCAR racing series games, I would literally just sit and paint cars.
I did that too. I did that too. Bro, I didn't know what I was doing. And I mean, what did that game cap out? Probably like 10 frames per second. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was awful.
The cars were like 3 pixels.
It was awful, but it was so much. Dude, I remember. No shit. We had 2 family computers when I was a kid, and we're about to take a little break right here because I gotta piss and I get another beer, and I don't want to stop talking to you. And if you got to go to bed, tell me. I will.
I'm off tomorrow. I am good to whenever.
Hell yeah, man. We might make this a damn.
You get tired of talking to me, just tell me to shut the fuck up and go on, and I'll go on in.
Look, we might turn this into a Joe Rogan podcast and go 3.5 hours. I'll just tell you right now.
I'm having a fucking ball. So.
Dude, I've talked so much about how when I get on these damn things, I get so nervous because, obviously I've never talked. I mean, I have talked to you, but never one-on-one. And a lot of people come in here and, man, it's just like, sometimes I get nervous because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to get 15 minutes in and then I'm going to be like, all right, well, that was fun. All right, see you later. But it still has not happened to this day where, I've run out of stuff to talk about. But, man, I've had a blast talking to you, man. This is so much fun. But I tell you what, let's take a short little break here. I'm going to go get me another beer. I'm going to piss. I'll turn our audio off so people can't hear me pissing because I made that mistake one time because I have this super podcast mic. Like, I'm serious now. I'm taking this serious. But let's take a little short break and we'll continue here in the next couple of minutes after I piss and get another beer.
I'm gonna take a leak and call my wife right quick and just wish her well for work tonight. So.
Hell yeah! We'll come back here in a couple of minutes. Everybody listening, stay tuned. We'll have the next section here in just a moment. All right, perfect timing.
Sorry, everybody had to look at my shorts and my legs getting this thing. I like this seat, but it's not very comfortable to get in and out of for somebody that's 6'2" and 285 pounds.
Hey, as long as you get in it, that's all that matters. Oh shit! What were we talking about?
We were talking about the old games, old sim stuff.
Old Sims, yeah. Saturday Night Speedway. That was a good one. Dirt to Daytona was good too.
Yes. Did you ever play the old rat bag dirt track racing games?
Oh, I think I did. I don't remember them. When did they come out?
I want to say they were late 90s, early 2000s, maybe.
So I was born in 91. So I'm sure that I did. I know. Oh my God, I just had a memory. Me and Cody used to do World of Outlaws sprint cars, and we would go to Las Vegas, and they had a jump in the infield. And we would hit that motherfucker running wide ass open, and we'd fly through the damn sky. Oh my God, I can't believe I just remembered that memory. That's oh man, I need to get that game. I have a PC, like a PS2 emulator on my PC, and I need to get that game. Like, I want to play that. Like that was such a good game. Oh my God! But the first.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
It was 1999. I just looked it up. It was 1999 on the Rat Bag Dirt Track PC game.
Oh, see, I didn't really have a whole lot of PC games, because again, I only had like the PlayStation 2. We did have a couple family PCs, but they couldn't really handle the PC games. I did have the NASCAR racing. It wasn't 2003. It was like, what was the first one that came out? Like 98.
First one was like,
I think it was like NASCAR Racing 98. No. I'm thinking about the I'm thinking about the PS1 game where you had the cheat code where you could shoot paintballs.
Paintballs. Yeah, that was my first NASCAR console game.
I'm glad you remember that, because most people have no idea. You could be running at Bristol in NASCAR 97 or NASCAR 98, and you could hit L1 and it would shoot paintballs out of the car in front of you.
And if you remember, if you did the in-car view and you press select while you were going around the track, the driver would wave.
Damn, I didn't know I was going to go down fucking memory lane tonight. Jesus Christ, bro. This is wild. I'm sure most of our, I would say probably 90% of ARCS is younger, probably like in their, 20, early 20s, mid 20s. But then there's a good 10% that are, in their 30s, late 30s. Dustin, I think Dustin's like 45, maybe. I could be wrong.
He's a couple years older than I am, I think.
Yeah, and Donald Ray, I'm sure you've seen him on track. Donald Ray, great guy. Just absolutely a great person. He's I think he's probably pushing 75, maybe. I don't know. Not really. Sorry, Jacket, if you hear this.
That was Ryan that said that, not Josh.
Yeah. That's another cool thing. So did you ever play Heat 5, Heat 4? Were you involved in the OG PS gang?
I never was in a league on those. I might have played some of the Heat 4, Heat 5, just a single player to kill time, because I've got PlayStation stuff over here to the side that I play with too. And I never done anything online or league as far as that goes. Did do some Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7 stuff, but then it left a lot to be desired in the new GT7 games.
For real. No way Brandon Federer Place was born in 1984. Wait, when were you born? Because you're older, so you're probably, 87? 85? Okay.
85, yeah.
So you and Feder Place are pretty much the same age. So that's wild. Brandon, I didn't know you.
I never would have figured that.
Hey, we learn something new every time we do this podcast. But yeah, Feder Place is born in 84.
And I think Feder Place races in a league, the Moonshiners League, and there's some of the old hangouts that ran in the Loose Lugs and Showtime League that also run in that. So we're it's funny how we're all kind of, you know, we might not know each other per se from racing against each other, but you see people that you race with in ARCS race against other people in another league that, oh, hell, I know those guys.
Yeah. He said, yeah, Moonshiners. He was in it. So, yeah, that's what's so cool about this podcast. I mean, I when I first started this, I had this idea in my head, and I was like, man, I want to talk to the drivers. You know, I want to get their story. I want to get their, you know, how they found ARCS. You know, a little bit more about them. And man, the more I do these things, it's like everybody knows everybody from different leagues, different places, and it's like, man, this is crazy. It's a small world.
Yeah, and I'll go even smaller world than just the sim racing deal, but it's all tied with sim racing. So if Feder Place can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that there was a guy that ran in Moonshiners a little bit named Wayne Bowen. And Wayne I met through Loose Lugs / Showtime, or through the Loose Lugs League. And me and Wayne get to talking. So when I first started in the car business, I was 16 and got hired at our local Honda dealership, which was Grissom Honda. And if you've been around NASCAR, you know there's a guy, Steve Grissom, was a 1993, I think, Busch Grand National champion.
Yep.
My granddad and Steve's dad worked at Goodyear Tire and Rubber in Gadsden, Alabama together for a long time until the Grissoms got in the car business. And it's funny because here I am. I worked for almost 4 years as a oil changer, lube tech, general guy, apprentice at Grissom Honda. Steve would come in on the weekends and sometimes tear shit up, and then hey Josh, I need you to fix this. And we can't tie our techs that make us money up, but we can put you're the little hourly peon guy. You can fix this for us. And the cool thing is back when Steven and his brother, Philip, they both ran late models back in like the 80s, early 90s, before the Busch Grand National stuff started. And I can't remember Wayne's timeline exact, but he used to work on their car and drive their hauler for them.
Nice.
And he told a really good story one time about driving a dually and an enclosed trailer with a race car on it through a toll booth in Florida. And if anybody ever gets the chance to ask him about that, it's well worth asking.
That's so cool, man. I mean, that's why I love talking to just everybody, because everybody has a story that is close to them. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, we're all huge race car fans. I mean, I love anything that goes fast, like you said. I mean, I watch F1, I watch IndyCar, I watch drag racing. My uncle had a Ford Pinto back in the day.
My first car was a Pinto.
Oh man, and man was that car fucking ugly. But god damn if that thing wasn't fast on the damn drag race. And he would take that damn thing to Commerce Dragway or whatever. I think they finally shut it down.
It's shut down and bulldozed now.
Yeah, that's so sad, man. I mean, that was, but it was. I mean, where it was at, Commerce. Look,
it's 68 miles from Atlanta, and they called it Atlanta Dragway.
I know, it's crazy. It wasn't even close to Atlanta, but it was for anybody that has been to Commerce Dragway or Atlanta Dragway, like Josh said. I mean, look, Commerce is a huge fucking town. I mean, there is so much there, and I think that a lot of the shops and restaurants there were like, hey, we don't want a drag strip near our place. And then obviously money starts talking, and they unfortunately they got rid of it. So I hated to see that happen, but man, I remember me and Cody, no shit, I was probably 8 or 9. Cody was probably, I may have been 10 or 11. Cody was probably 8 or 9 because Cody, I think Cody's 3 years younger than me. My Uncle Tracy took us to the NHRA Nationals there at Atlanta Dragway one year. And I had never, I'd been around race cars. I'd been around dirt cars. And yeah, they were loud, but I loved it. Holy fucking shit. They took us, no shit. We went to the end of the quarter mile. And Tracy, and it was one of his buddies that we called him Puddin'. That was his nickname. And they were like, all right, they about to start. And they did their burnouts, and of course, they're a quarter mile away from us. So yeah, it sounded loud, but we were like, oh yeah, that's cool. Holy shit, man. Them two fucking, it was Top Fuel dragsters. Them fuckers came across that line. Me and Cody, no shit. We were so scared. We turned around and ran to the bathroom right there at the start-finish line because we had never experienced. I mean, those things, you saw them, your eyes saw them, and then your ears and your whole body felt it.
You feel it. You can feel it in your chest.
And we turned around and we ran because we thought we were dying. I mean, it was the craziest experience I've ever had in my life, and I was probably 10 years old. It was so much fun.
Those things are damn unreal, and I'll tell you, a good thing about a drag race, especially NHRA, or even I like going to the small tire radial tire drag races that some guys put on in the southeast here, and you buy a general admission ticket. And you can just stroll through the staging lanes. You stroll through the pits, walk right up to the back of the cars. On them. Matter of fact, our local track down here at Steele, just down the interstate from me, maybe 15 minutes, just had one of those big radial tire races. And me and the kids are walking around the pits. And the next thing you know, I'm helping a guy push a Dodge Viper radial versus the world car around and put his chocks under it because it was just him and one other guy. And and then that's pretty damn cool. You got a fucking full custom tube frame, big, 3,000 horsepower twin turbo V8. Hey, I helped that guy out a little bit, And the NHRA deal with the nitro cars, and I know there's a lot of people's been to a monster truck race or a dirt race or even asphalt race where cars have run on methanol. Mm-hmm. If you've never been around a car on nitro methane, methanol smells like a damn air freshener.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My stepdad and mom took me to my first NHRA drag race, and we're in the pits. They fire one of the Top Fuel cars off to warm it up.
Yep.
And there's people just crowded around, and I'm kind of standing back out of the fumes and everything. And my stepdad goes, you're not getting away with this shit. Come on, and just drags me right to the front of the line. And the next thing, hell, I've got snot running out of my nose. My eyes are watering, my throat's burning. It's like, and he's like, "This is great," and I'm like, "Oh shit, no, it ain't."
Yeah, bro, you can get a straight hit off. I mean, you'd be high as fuck off them damn things. You didn't even know where you were at. You were like, "Am I still in Georgia? Like, what the hell?" I mean, but that is what's so cool. Like, and I wish, obviously, I know NASCAR offers, pit passes and stuff like that, but NHRA has got that shit figured out. I mean, you could have a seat. It doesn't matter where you're sitting. That pit area is open to everyone. And when they fire those things up, let me tell y'all, if y'all haven't heard a 10,000 horsepower motor rev up on straight damn jet fuel, basically, I mean, that is something I will never forget. I mean, I went back when I was a little bit older to Atlanta Dragway, and dude, we were probably half a mile away from the start, and I jumped when they started because it was like silence, whap, and it's like holy fuck,
holy shit,
damn.
I like those videos where they do the nitro baptisms or whatever they call them. When they take the celebrities and stand them right between the two cars when they launch. Just like everybody freaks out. That's good shit.
Dude, that shit. Look, if you got a heart murmur, I wouldn't stand down there.
Because it's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah,
You don't need to be having a stroke that way. So.
Nah, yeah. Yeah, if you have any kind of heart murmur or a damn pacemaker, don't go to an NHRA race because your ass.
If you do sit in the grandstands.
Yeah, sit top row in the grandstands because you might need an ambulance.
And like I said, NHRA and drag races, I go by this philosophy: is if I go somewhere and I act like I'm supposed to be there, you can see a lot of cool shit that a lot of people don't know that they can go to.
Yeah.
You just act like you're supposed to be there. NASCAR, you can't get away with that as much.
Hey, show up to an NHRA race with a 10 millimeter socket. You might be able to change your head out. I'm just
stick a red rag in your back pocket.
Yeah. Put a red rag in your back pocket. Have a driver shirt on. Hell, they'll let you change the damn valve springs out of that thing. I mean, that's. But it's a blast.
Talladega, the infield at Talladega's got shit going on too. For as far as the garage experience they've put in at Talladega, I think it was 2022 spring race, or maybe 20. I can't remember if it was. Maybe it was the spring race in 2023. Anyway, I took my son. He'd never been to a NASCAR race and wanted to go, and we got garage experience passes. And from somebody that's been to Talladega a bunch and never had got that kind of access, it was freaking amazing.
Yeah, we went to not last year. Last year we went to Darlington. But 2 years ago, our ARCS corporate retreat was at Talladega, and
because Painter was there.
Yep,
and
he was.
Yep, and I had seen him posted on Facebook that y'all were all there and doing stuff. And me and my son were there at the same time.
Well, we're going to Atlanta this year, so it ain't too late if you want to come hang out with us.
That's not but about 2.5, 3 hours away from me.
Hell, it ain't far, and we're going to the. Obviously, they've already ran the first race, so we're going to the second race in the playoffs, and we drink a lot of beer, we tell a lot of stories, and it's a blast. We were lucky last year. We went to Darlington, so I got us an Airbnb that was literally probably 20 feet from the beach in Surfside. Not in Myrtle Beach because I know Myrtle Beach is a little crazy. So I went south and got us a place in Surfside. Dude, we had so much fun. I mean, I've had so much fun. I mean, we went to Bristol Dirt the first year that we did this corporate retreat. Then the next year we went to, God, I can't remember where we went the second year. I know we did Bristol Dirt. I know we went to Talladega. We went to Darlington. There was one other one, and I can't remember what it was. So that's terrible. But this year we're going to Atlanta, and it's going to be a blast. We got like 13, 14 people coming. Hey, if you want to go, let Dustin know. I mean, it's like 500. Literally, we have a house from Thursday till Tuesday morning, and I think for tickets and the house, it's like $560.
Damn, that's not bad at all.
No, it's not. That's a good thing about getting a lot of people to come. It's fun. It is very fun. It's cheap, and we drink a lot of beer, and we tell a lot of dumb stories, but damn, it's a blast every year. It really is.
The thing about it, I don't have to drink a lot of beer. I'm a cheap drunk because I don't do it like once or twice a year. So, hey, a six-pack, and I will be telling stories that y'all probably won't believe.
Hey, I drink pretty much every night, but I drink White Claw, so it doesn't really count. But
see, this guy right here, that right there is my 14-year-old. So
there you go. We need to get him in iRacing.
Well, he inherited my old G27, so
Hey, we'll get him.
He might get in there one day. Hey, he's experienced. He's also drove Talladega Short Track. They call it Talladega Raceway Park, and he drove a mini late model for 2 years, which is basically a go kart with a late model body on it. So
hell yeah, yeah. We We went to run when we went to Talladega. We went to the Talladega short track and watched the sprint cars and the super late models. Or I don't know if they were super late models, but we watched the late models when Chase Elliott was slow as shit. He was in an awful car. I mean, that thing was slow, but yeah, we had fun going out there. That damn track. Actually, we watched a sprint car flip over turn 2, flipped so far that he actually landed on an F-250 in the parking lot, and so we all ran over there, and they were picking the sprint car up in the F-250. The front end was fucked up, and I mean, that track is wild.
It is. That track is really fun to drive too, because getting the car set in early and then driving the car off the corner with the throttle is imperative at that joint, mostly, especially when you're like, the one I've run there has been in a mini stock, so you don't have all the horsepower in the world. Yeah. And so you really gotta make the car get around that place.
It kind of reminds me of East Alabama.
I never got to drive on that track.
Yeah, my uncle was able to run the state championship race there a couple times, and he actually won one year, but then they protested him, and they found something wrong with his car, because they always do. I mean, doesn't matter what you do, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, there's always something. If you're faster than somebody, you're a cheating bastard.
Yeah. Regardless of the other, people behind them that were cheating too and didn't get in trouble, but what do you do? So
what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now there's been times I've been a cheating bastard, but most of the time I wouldn't.
Well, yeah, we tried to keep our engines, within the rules. We would do a couple things that we knew that they weren't going to catch, but I mean, I think everybody does that. I mean,
there were sometimes I done it just to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you want to get some speed? Hell, let's break some rules. Let's just have some fun.
I ran a Gold Star clutch in my mini stock for a long time just because I liked the way it sounded. The clutch pressure plate and flywheel weighed less than a stock flywheel that I was supposed to be running.
Yep.
And I just liked the way the car revved up and sounded when you let off of it.
Yeah. Exactly. That thing sounded good. Didn't matter if I was cheating. Who cares?
It revved up like a M2 stroke with a little lightweight flywheel on it. And fun fact, I have been if you keep up with dirt late models, Hunt the Front Super Series.
Oh yeah.
I've been accused of cheating by the guy that just won the last race they had. So.
Oh damn! Yeah. Yeah, so, I watch their YouTube videos all the time. Like I love their stuff, so it's crazy.
So Sam Seawright that races in the super late models now. He started out at our local track at Fort Payne, Alabama, Alabama, but it's called Fort Payne Motor Speedway. He started out there in mini stocks with me and my dad. And, we at the time had that rules package. We'd kind of done our homework and had some good stuff that was legal and proven legal at times. But we were fast and I knew how to get around that place pretty good. But everybody, you're cheating. So
yeah. Anytime you race good, everybody's like, oh, you're cheating.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember several times where my uncle would win a race by, I mean, almost damn half a lap, and second and third would protest us, and we'd be in the damn shed all night. They'd be damn pulling our motor apart, and they're like, well, we can't find nothing wrong with it. And it's like, yeah, that's because there's nothing wrong with it. We're legal.
Nope, nothing wrong with it,
yeah. Like, what do you want us to do? I mean, make something up if you want us to not win. And
oh no, they'll do that in a hurry.
Oh yeah, they will. They'll be like,
I've been victim to that shit before.
They'll be like, oh, this lifter's not approved. It's like, what do you mean this lifter's not approved? It's the same lifter that everybody else is running. Nah, it ain't approved. It's not. It's like, what the hell? I mean, that's dirt track racing. You go to maybe win $500, maybe $1,000 if it's a special event.
Special event.
And then somebody protests you, and they're spending. I mean, protests nowadays,
several $100s.
yeah, or like $200 to protest the winner. So they're spending $200, and they tear your engine apart, and then some bullshit thing comes up. Oh yeah, well this spring's it's a little tight. It's I don't know. It's like what?
I was the recipient of a technicality on the valve spring deal.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking track promoter did tech for a long time, and and the track up there actually teched after the race. I mean, you're liable to come across the scales in the top 3 after the race, and just like pull over there to the side and pull the valve or pull a carburetor. You want to look at something, and they had looked at my motor for months, and then okay, it was in the whatever valve spring manufacturer's catalog as a single valve spring with a round damper, a little damper spring inside the spring.
Yep.
And then, well, I got actually tore down one night after a win, and they pull the valve cover off, and the tech man looks at it and goes, "Oh, well, you're out right there." What are you talking about? I'm out right there. He said, it don't have the flat damper in it. It's got a second spring. I said, that's a freaking round damper. It says that right in the catalog.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what I said at that point. I was a cheating SOB.
Oh, yeah.
And I was done. And then that same night, we got both cars tore down because I said my dad raced with me. We actually competed against each other. And they pulled the carburetor and the intake off his car, and we had forgotten that the intake on that particular 2300 had the shit poured out of it. Had any pouring done on it. That one was on us.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you forget. You're like, oh shit. Yeah, we might have made a mistake. Sorry. That's how it is.
All
right.
All that was interesting. It was fun, but now I like having my time, not having to work on that shit all the time.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. Honestly, I mean that's if you're racing, it is a hobby. I mean, and you're not going to make any money off of it. Yeah, you might bring home $10, after you fuel you fuel the car up, you fuel the truck that pulled the car there, you pay your entry fees, and you win $200, but you had to put 150, of fuel in the race car. You got tires that you just wore out, so now you got to get new tires. The motor, you got to change the oil in the motor. I mean, look,
it nickel and dimes you to death.
Yeah, you ain't making no damn money running,
and all of that is just weekly stuff.
Yeah,
and that's not counting some son of a bitch goes out there and forgets where the steering wheel or the brake pedal is getting into turn one and runs the side of it over.
Yeah, now you got to get 1,000 riv nuts and take your whole car apart and put it back together. Yeah, trust me, I've been there.
But, I was very fortunate is that, listen, I took care of my equipment because we were a family team. My granddad owned all the stuff. Basically, me and my dad worked on them and drove. And I drove the same chassis, same Fox Body Mustang chassis mini stock from 2007 until I sold it in 2021. Same car.
Hey, that's a lot better than most people can say, because most people will run one race and have to get a brand new damn race car because they.
In the 22 seasons, I think is what it was, because I started in 2000. I was 14 when they put me in a car, and I didn't get no go-karts, nothing like that. I was put straight in a mini stock, and I had 3 cars over 22 years was all I had that were my cars. I might drive my dad's every now and then, just like a one-off deal. Last time I drove his car, I won in it.
Hell yeah! So that car got some speed.
Yeah, and my first car was a '82 Toyota Celica with a 22R engine in it, and then I got rid of it and thought I needed a V8 car, in which it was basically like if Proudfoot's G-body dirt car and a late model had a baby. That's what this thing was, because it had about 500 horsepower. on a 3-link. On matter of fact, I had made good friends with some guys that ran some late models, and I would get their pull-offs. I'd buy their pull-off tires from them, so we were running on basically the same tires and wheels, except ours had to be steel, and the motor was like set way back in this thing, and I sat on top of the pickup point for the rear lower trailing arm is where my seat sat, is how far back I was in this thing. It was all kind of radical.
That's crazy. All right, buddy. I know we've been going for about 2 hours. I could keep talking to you all night, man, but
I could be long-winded at times.
No, man, I had a blast. It was so much fun.
Especially talking about race car shit, man.
Oh,
anything,
man.
sim racing, race cars, any of that, racing history, any of that, I'm good with. So.
I could, dude, I'm the same. I could talk about racing all night. I love racing. I love, not even just NASCAR, but just local dirt tracks, and that's why I was excited to have you on, because you have that history. I've been a part of dirt track racing. I mean, my family's been racing at Winder, Livonia, Hartwell, and
all places I would love to have got to race, but I didn't. So
yeah, we even raced at Westminster up in South Carolina before they shut down. That was a damn good track. I remember. I will never forget. Me and a buddy of mine, his name was Dustin Bales, and we were good friends in high school. He had him a little, I think it was a 4-cylinder that he built. And I remember one night because they ran on Friday nights in Westminster, and he texted me. He was like, "Hey man, you want to ride up with me and help me, run this race car and just kind of be there for me?" I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, man, let's go." We drove from where I lived, which is close to Athens. We drove up to Westminster, South Carolina, and it was a good 2-hour drive. And we get there, and they had canceled the race because it rained. It had rained in Westminster, South Carolina for about 30 or 40 minutes, and it got the track really wet. And I guess the track crew was like, "Nah, hell no, cancel it." So we got all the way there, and we pull into the parking lot, and there ain't a soul there. And he's like,
nobody there.
Yeah, he's like, "What the hell?" So I at that time I was in high school. We were both in high school, and I pull up Facebook, and I'm typing Westminster. I'm pulling up their Facebook page, and I'm like, "Bro, they just canceled the race like 35 minutes ago." And he's like,
"Oh shit.
Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "I swear you." I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess we'll just turn around and go back home." So we drove almost 2 hours to run at Westminster, and then turned around and had to drive 2 hours back home because the race was canceled. And I'm like, God, I should have looked like halfway. Like, I'm sorry.
And I started at the time when I first started driving. It was before Facebook and hell, even MySpace at that. And then be like, okay, well, it's rained in the area of the track today. Let's call them on the phone and see.
Yeah.
And then so you're picking up your landline phone and calling their landline phone, so you get that lovely busy signal.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got to decide, well, I can't get nothing but a busy signal to track because that means they're there. So we're going to just take the chance and go or not.
I remember looking at before Facebook was, a big deal in social media. I remember me and Cody would literally go to winderbarrelspeedway.com, I think was the website, and we would sit there and just hit refresh on our computer just to see, because sometimes they would put, it was like a home page, and it had like pictures of race cars, and then it would be like a little link, and it would be like race canceled, and it was like, all right, well, we're not going tonight. Like.
My original home track was Green Valley Speedway, and it was greenvalleyspeedway.com, and they had a little blue icon, a green icon up in the corner of the page, and it was flashing like a green light if they were racing and red if they canceled.
Yeah. Hey, that is advanced technology back there, back in the early 90s. I mean, the fact they could turn that little light green or red, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, it's it's crazy how much, again, when you're running your local short tracks, you're not making money. You're losing money. I mean, you got to have a full-time job just to support that racing hobby. And iRacing is a little bit cheaper than the real race car, so it's good to have you on track, buddy. And I'm getting a little tired. I think I gotta go to work tomorrow. I don't know. I gotta see what my schedule looks like. But thank you for being a part of this. I had a blast, man.
Yes, thanks for having me, man. This was awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Get the shit and talk race cars.
Hell yeah, man. We'll have to have you on for another episode. But I had a blast. Again, I get nervous when I have new people in here, but I mean, it looks like your kid's about to start playing some AC/DC. So, hey,
hey, he got good taste in music. So,
look, man, I can play the guitar too. So, maybe if y'all come down for an ARCS retreat, we'll jam together.
Yeah. I cannot. But I can do a lot of stuff, but guitars is not one of them. Music, singing, anything to do with music, I'm out.
Yeah, now I can't sing, but I can play the guitar. I at least have that going for me. But appreciate you coming out, man. This is honestly,
I appreciate you having me.
Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite podcasts. I mean, I really enjoyed talking to you, and I feel like we kind of come from the same background. You're a little bit older than me, but we grew up on that dirt track racing, and we're out here and just trying to get some top 10 finishes on iRacing, and it's tough sometimes.
It's tough.
It is.
Tough.
But
it'll humble you in a hurry.
Oh yes, it will. I mean, I run like I run a couple other leagues. I run HTL on Mondays sometimes, and I feel like I'm a lot faster in other leagues, which speaks wonders for ARCS. I feel like we have a lot of very good drivers, so that when I go to another league, I'm like, well, hell, I'm running 10th. Like, this is great. Like, ARCS is working. It's making me faster. I mean, it's something that I kind of hang my hat on at the end of the day, being an owner. I mean, it's cool to see how competitive ARCS is overall.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I finished second in a next gen fixed official, and I'm like, damn, why can't I do this on Sunday nights? I'm like, well, honestly, it's just because everybody there's a hell of a lot faster and a lot tougher to beat.
Yeah, for real, it's crazy. But again, thank you, buddy. I had a blast. We'll definitely have to have a second podcast. We got to talk more racing. So thank you, man. I mean, man. Again. I had so much fun, dude. This has been a blast.
I'm always down to talk about racing.
Hell yeah. We love racing. And we didn't even get to talk about like your favorite NASCAR finish, who your favorite driver is. I mean, so there's definitely a second episode in the works. So
yeah,
we'll get that going. But I'll let you see your way out of the Discord, and then I'll wrap us up. But thank you again, man. I had so much fun, and glad to get to see your kid and your wife going to work. So
it's a madhouse around here sometimes. So.
Hey, that's all part of it, man. That's what we love about it. So thank you for being here, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, that was Joshua Battles, episode number 18 of ARCS Behind the Driver. That was a really good one. Probably one of my favorites, honestly. Me and Dale had a really good one. I love talking to Dale. We went for hours. I mean, again, we're closing in on Joe Rogan podcast links here at 2.5 hours almost. 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, man, I never would have thought that I would have been able to talk to Joshua Battles for 2 hours plus. But I could have talked to him for another hour. For another hour, sorry. Thank you all for tuning in. I know we had some pretty good viewership there in the middle. Just make sure you watch this on Twitch, YouTube, whatever it may be. it's up to y'all to make these things successful. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being a part of this. I know this is some stupid idea I had in my head, but man, has it been so much fun. It takes away from my Friday nights and even Saturday nights with Brian Rupert last week. But it's just a blast to talk to these drivers one-on-one. So we'll close it out there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you watch on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you also subscribe to YouTube and Twitch if you have not already. That's going to be it for me. An ARX race that I did an in-car broadcast, and then a podcast that was just a huge, huge success. I loved that. But all right, we'll talk to y'all later. Be in the booth Tuesday night with HTL, with Eli Sasick and ABN. A little bit more professional than my ARCS broadcast tonight, where my sound didn't work for 45 minutes. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Really do. I mean, it means a lot to me. It wouldn't be possible without y'all. But until I see y'all next, make sure you stay on that loud pedal.
Welcome to ARCS, Behind the Driver Podcast.